Hello, everyone. This is your host, Cam, once again, on, of course, another episode of Camcast. How is each and every one of you doing today? I know I'm doing pretty good as I'm ready to basically give y'all another great topic today, of course. This topic is going to be pretty interesting as we decide to kind of dive into some sports news. I haven't really talked about that in a while, and I decided to go ahead and give it a go today. Just some interesting things, some interesting trades, some stuff that's happened. Of course, we're smack in the very middle of basketball season, and so today, that's what we're going to get into. Hope you guys are ready. So, to start off, without further ado, we're going to, of course, begin with our first segment as we're going to discuss and go over, just a real brief overview of what it is that I'm kind of bringing to you all today on screen. So, today, I'm trying to think. Today, have on the red coat, white pocket square, white shirt, black tie with the pink polka dots, the dark blue trousers with the gold window pane pattern, some light blue socks, and some dark blue Oxfords. And of course, last but not least, my blue and golden tie bar or a tie clip, whichever you prefer to call it, because there is like an actual clip and then there's like a bar, but normally I just call it tie bar. So basically, that's pretty much the outfit today. And so let's dive right into it. So today, of course, one of my favorite trades that I wanted to discuss that has, of course, gotten, I guess you would say, a lot of attention around in both regular media news, like, of course, just average news that everybody watches, and of course, sports news. And that is, of course, our guy that was with the Nets, I believe the Brooklyn Nets. That's right. I always forget that time. Okay, yeah, the Brooklyn Nets with Kyrie Irving, of course, going to the Dallas Mavericks to join the other big-time superstar, Luka Doncic. I can't remember I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, bro, but I know it's one or the other. But Luka, I enjoy watching that guy a lot. It's very interesting to kind of see him play because it's the way his style is like, you wouldn't really think that, and it's not to criticize how he plays or the way he plays or anything about that, because he gets the job done. He's not too concerned about the and one or, doing anything really special. He just gets his job done and he puts points on the board and he runs up the stat sheet for the team and for himself. And I can respect that. Just get the job done. It's really all they really ask you. So with him and Kyrie Irving running together, I think that that's going to be some big stuff right there. Both of them have been doing a phenomenal job this year. Kyrie Irving, of course, his stat sheets are always going up. He is always what you consider a box office player that many fans will sell out arenas and games just to come and see him because, of course, his points per game are always rising. His assists, just everything. Rebounds, he's a great point guard or shooting guard. I don't know his exact position, but I know he's a guard. So, Kyrie, welcome to the South. I believe this is his first team that he's been a part of that has been in the South. I can't think of all the teams that he was a part of. I know Cleveland was one of them, the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I can't really think of any others. So if there are any others that I should be aware of, please let me know. But so anybody else, if you have any thoughts on that trade that took place and any other big trades that might have taken place so far at this point in the NBA season. I know that there were some other people that he used to play with that were also placed on other teams and this and that. And of course, he himself is pretty satisfied with this decision. He says he's happy to be going to Dallas. And of course, I'm sure Mr. Cuban himself is pretty excited about this. I'm excited to see him play, honestly. I was really thinking about trying to get down there just to go see him. I couldn't have been happier about this. I know a lot of people, especially like other, you would say, sports media columnists are whatever you want to call them, the official name for them, commentators and spectators who had their opinions on the decision that took place. And a lot of them, they were pretty mixed. Some were for the transaction and some were not. They said they had to give up a few picks. They had to do a lot of things basically to get him down there. So he's appreciative of that. And I think he will continue to, of course, be the best person that he can be and continue to do his best on the court. So with that being said, I'm happy to see that, and I wish them all the best from here on out. Me personally, I'm more of a bigger Pelicans fan. That's kind of my team. I'd say I probably became more of a fan, of course, whenever I want to say they became like the Pelicans. And that's kind of just how that was. I kind of, I just like everything about like the new, just new. So yeah, but with that being said, let's just take a second out to kind of, let this sink in. And of course, with the Pelicans, we started out pretty hot this year. We had a great run. And, of course, every team, it's the season. Every team, especially when you have a lot of road trips, you tend to basically, you have your ups and downs. You don't come home for, too many nights, and then you're back on the road again for about another 5, 6, 7 games. And it happens to everybody. I mean, and then again, sometimes some teams play better on the road than they do at home. And that happens especially even in the NFL. So, speaking of which, of course, we just got through with the Super Bowl. Congratulations to the Chiefs. And I'm sure that they felt like it was very heartfelt, very hard-earned as they worked extremely hard. But, of course, congratulations to both teams just for making it. I think Jalen Hurts is a phenomenal player, a phenomenal athlete, and just a phenomenal person on and off the field. And I do congratulate him and his team for making it there. Normally, I don't normally see the top seeds of both conferences, both the AFC and the NFC, make it to basically to basically make it to the overall, the Super Bowl. So, and honestly, sometimes they don't even make it to the conference championship. So it's nice to honestly see that happen this year. So, yep. But other than that, I'm excited basically to, of course, continue to view basically the rest of the season, see what it brings, of course, as the playoffs are approaching later on this year. I don't know how that schedule is going to operate. I'm going to have to look into that because I think it's going to be a little different than what it normally is. But when we find out, or of course, when I find out, you find out, or vice versa, when you find out, I find out. So looking forward to that. And of course, also looking forward to the next season as the players in the NFL are off to the off season. I hope that there is no major, things that just leave people in awe. Of course, decisions are made that, affect a lot of people beyond just the players. And of course, things happen, business decisions are made. However, I just prefer that the league has become a bit more competitive than what they have been lately. And that's really just my opinion. I noticed, of course, it's no secret that, obviously like the referees are a lot more involved into the games nowadays. Of course, they, it's considered for the safety of the players, which is understandable. But sometimes it's, I think that the competitiveness of both leagues is starting to dwindle. And not only does it have an effect on the players, I think it also has an effect on basically the surrounding audience. I know it doesn't really make sense, but I'm seeing it. It's just, when I do happen to look into history and I go and see some of like for instance, I witnessed, of course, the Malice, the Pat. Well, I didn't witness it, but I saw it was a documentary, I believe somebody put together and put on Netflix, I want to say. And it was a great program. And of course, I'm not condoning it at all. It's just that, of course, we all know that basically changed a lot, as far as the trajectory of the NBA. And I'm not saying that it shouldn't happen. I'm not saying that I'm condoning it. However, what I am saying is that sometimes I think those competitive edges in some of these sports does need to kind of come back. And I just think that it's going to make some changes in more places than just on the court, on the field, in the arena, in the dome, in the facility. I think that it's going to have an impact on also everyone that supports and watches and celebrates. And they'll see what I'm talking about, of course, if they continue to allow these players to, play instead of being so, now the targeting rule, I can understand that. You want to keep your players protected. I get that. Reduce concussions and any life-threatening issues that may, result later on in life due to these concussions that these players may, accrue throughout their careers or even later on in life after after their career is over with. So, yeah, with that being said, though, I just look forward to the continued competitiveness, or at least the bringing back of the competitiveness in these sports. And when I say competitiveness, I don't necessarily mean, in the playoffs, it's understandable about how much the players kind of go into it and get into a scrabble, over calls that they don't agree with, or, players just having conflicts that, sometimes might even begin, from off the field, on social media or wherever. And also, the thing about it is, that's not my favorite part of the game to see, but it's more understandable in the playoffs because, you've gotten to a point to where this is what you basically worked the entire offseason for. And no one wants to go home. Not at this point. Everybody wants to play to the end. And especially, I've noticed in both close games and non-close games, you've had those issues. So, but yeah, so with that being said, once again, congratulations, Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic. I hope the two of you are able to work together and be able to provide, and play together for the betterment of both your team and your city and, of course, your fans. And good luck to the rest of the trades that also happen, too. And that's pretty much all I have for you today. And if you all have anything else you want to add to any of the things that I said today, anything that you might want to counteract or contradict or, bring something else to my attention, please do. And we can talk about it and address it on my future videos or later videos. As you know where to contact me, of course, I'm here on YouTube, and I'm also over on Apple Music or Apple Podcasts, I believe. I keep getting those wrong or mixed up. But yeah, so without further ado, this is Cam signing off with another one, and I will see you next time on another episode of Camcast. So long and have a good one, everybody. See you next time.